The world blurred into a vibrant streak of crimson and gold as Barry Allen, the fastest man alive, raced through the city. Each molecule of air was a canvas painted by his passage, a testament to the boundless energy of the speed force that coursed through him. This was his element, his joy, his very essence, perpetual motion, a dance with time itself. Then, without warning, the dance stopped. It wasn't a sudden impact or a wall, it was something far more terrifying, an absolute cessation. The air around him, which moments before had been a dynamic vortex, solidified into an unyielding, invisible wall. His momentum, his incredible, immeasurable speed, was not just countered, it was nullified. Barry found himself suspended mid-stride, his foot hovering inches above the pavement, his arms locked in motion. He could see the dust motes hanging motionless in the air, the distant city lights frozen in a silent tableau. He could think, he could breathe, but he could not move. Not 1 millimeter. The speed force, his constant companion, his very lifeblood, had simply vanished, replaced by an overwhelming, suffocating stillness. This chilling, unprecedented sensation was the arrival of a new, terrifying cosmic energy into the DC universe, the Still Force. And its master, its wielder, was none other than Gorilla Grodd. Grodd, the hyper-intelligent gorilla, had always been a formidable foe, his genius and psychic abilities a constant challenge for the Flash. But now he had ascended to a new level of power, gaining control over the Still Force, the fundamental cosmic energy that embodies inertia, stasis, and absolute rest. It was the direct polar opposite of the Speed Force, a yin to its yang, a complete negation of everything Barry Allen represented. Grodd's chilling calm, his deep, resonant voice cutting through the sudden silence, explained his newfound dominion. He could halt motion completely, binding even the fastest being in existence in an unbreakable grip of pure stillness. The implications were catastrophic. For Barry, it was more than just a physical impediment, it was an existential crisis. His identity was intertwined with motion, with the very concept of speed. To be utterly, inescapably still was to be fundamentally disoriented, disarmed, and vulnerable. Grodd's plan, fueled by this absolute power, was to bring the entire world to a halt, to enforce a new order built on unmoving, unbreakable stasis. The Justice League, caught in the wider conflict of the Justice Doom War, found themselves facing a force they simply couldn't comprehend, let alone fight. How do you punch something that can halt your very molecules? Barry's initial attempts to break free were futile. The more he pushed, the more the Still Force asserted its dominance, pressing in on him, draining his connection to the Speed Force entirely. It was a profound, humbling moment. His greatest strength had become his greatest weakness, utterly useless against this new paradigm. He realized then that he couldn't fight stillness with more speed. He had to learn to fight stillness with stillness. This was the turning point. Barry, the champion of motion, had to embark on a journey of understanding his own antithesis. It was a profound shift in perspective. Instead of focusing on acceleration, he had to embrace deceleration. Instead of breaking barriers, he had to learn to create them. He began to perceive the underlying currents of inertia in the universe, the subtle resistance of objects to change their state, the inherent desire for everything to remain as it is. It was a feeling profoundly alien to him, like learning to walk backwards after a lifetime of running forward. Harnessing the Still Force wasn't about gaining a new offensive power in the traditional sense. It was about balance. It was about understanding the cosmic equilibrium that exists between the forces of motion and stasis. As he delved deeper, he found that the Still Force wasn't merely about stopping, it was also about stability, about maintaining, about providing a foundation. He began to subtly tap into it, not to immobilize others, but to ground himself, to counteract Grodd's influence, to find moments of absolute stillness within his own frantic existence, allowing him to perceive the world in an entirely new way. He learned to use it to stabilize collapsing structures, to create impenetrable barriers of inertia, even to subtly influence the motion of others by imparting a precise amount of stillness. The final confrontation with Grodd was a battle unlike any Barry had ever fought. It wasn't a blur of lightning and fists, but a dance of cosmic principles. Grodd, confident in his absolute power, tried to lock Barry in perpetual stasis. But Barry, now conversant in the language of stillness, met force with counterforce, inertia with equilibrium. He didn't try to run through Grodd's power, he learned to flow around it, to use moments of controlled stillness to disrupt Grodd's concentration, to subtly manipulate the inertia of his attacks. He would be frozen, yes, but only for a microsecond, enough to predict and counteract Grodd's next move. It was a testament to his adaptability, his willingness to shed his preconceptions and truly master his opposite. Ultimately, Barry didn't overpower Grodd with speed. He outmaneuvered him with a profound understanding of stillness, using the very force Grodd wielded against him, creating a balance that Grodd, consumed by his desire for absolute stasis, could not comprehend. This arc significantly expanded the mythology of the DC Universe's cosmic energies, revealing a fundamental, universal balance between motion and stasis. It taught Barry, and us, that true mastery isn't just about cultivating one's inherent strengths, but about understanding and integrating their fundamental opposites. It's about recognizing that even in motion, there is an inherent stillness, and even in stillness, the potential for motion. Barry Allen, the icon of speed, gained a new, deeper appreciation for inertia, making him not just faster, but profoundly more balanced. He learned that to truly save the day, sometimes the fastest way forward is to understand what it means to be absolutely still. This profound journey of balance, of mastering one's opposite, is a powerful reminder that often the most effective solutions lie not in overwhelming force, but in understanding and integrating what seems to be contrary to our very nature. It's a lesson that resonates far beyond the cosmic battles of the Justice League. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What other comic book heroes do you think have had to master an opposite power or embrace a surprising facet of themselves to overcome a great challenge? Share your insights in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this exploration, please consider following us for more deep dives into the fascinating world of comics and beyond. Until next time, stay balanced.